Gyanvapi Masjid committee. The Muslim side had challenged a prior Varanasi court order allowing Hindus to resume puja barred after 1993 in the cellar or tehkhana of the disputed Gyanvapi Mosque. The order read, viewers, and let me quote out of it, "No ground to interfere in district court's order." Remember, that order came in January, viewers, allowing the Vyas family to return to the tehkhana where it had been conducting a puja for over a century. The court also said the Hindu side can continue to offer prayers in the cellar. Worship and rituals conducted by the Vyas family till 1993. So the court underlined this fact. The failure of the appellant to establish prima facie possession. Who was the appellant, viewers? It was, of course, the Intizamiya committee, the mosque side, the Muslim side. The court went on to say that the district court upheld Article 25 on the freedom of religion, and therefore the Intizamiya committee's petition challenging that order has been set aside. There will be no stay on the Hindu right to go access the tehkhana and offer puja. The Hindu side had moved court demanding that the Gyanvapi Mosque site, viewers, be handed back to the majority community. The Hindu side has adduced copious amounts of historical forensic evidence to claim that the mosque had been constructed on the site of Mahadev's temple that had been razed by Aurangzeb in the 1600s. While the court prima facie noted that the Muslim side's case was weak, it made a startling revelation that has sparked massive outrage. That revelation, viewers, was buried deep down in the order, Clause 127. The High Court has noted that the Hindus were literally, quote, illegally, unquote, dispossessed of their right to practice their faith. Here is what the order says, viewers, and it's going to come up on your screens. The High Court noted that this happened in 1993 when the then Samajwadi Party-led UP state administration had, quote, illegally, unquote, and without written orders, barred Hindus from offering prayers in one of the cellars or tehkhanas of the masjid. In this said tehkhana or cellar, the Vyas family had been performing puja for centuries. The worship and rituals, the court said, which continued to be performed in the cellar by the Vyas family till 1993, was stopped by illegal action. Viewers, illegal action of the state without there being any order in writing. The Vyas family, which continued performance of religious worship and rituals in the cellar, could not be denied access by oral order. A right guaranteed under Article 25 cannot be taken away by arbitrary action of the state, unquote. Viewers, this is very, very significant. The High Court judgment has sent shockwaves as it suggests that the state government led by the Samajwadi Party's then Supremo, Mulayam Singh Yadav, had weaponized, yes viewers, weaponized its executive power to discriminate against Hindus. Indeed, the government then passed the orders without considering the historical claims of the Vyas family on behalf of Hindus on the tehkhana. Your channel, CNN News 18, has accessed a map, and you can see it, viewers, on your screens. This map, drawn up in 1936 no less, and submitted in court, expressly notes the Hindu claim on the Gyanvapi Mosque tehkhana, viewers. You can see right there at the bottom a notation. There it is, viewers, we've just highlighted for you. That's the one. Tehkhana owned by Vyas. There's a spelling mistake in the way the surname has been spelt. It is V-I-A-S. There should be actually V-Y-A-S. But let me just walk you through this. The High Court notes in 1936 British era map showcasing tehkhana owned by Vyas. HC documents from Shailendra Pathak Vyas show cellar has been with the Vyas family since 1551. This is before the mosque was demolished by Aurangzeb, viewers. What does that tell you? That there was obviously a Hindu structure, a temple, where puja was being offered. The document shows the cellar has been willed down the generations by the Vyas family. So it was in continuous possession since the 1500s. Viewers, for 33 long years since 1993, Hindus have been cut off from practicing their faith freely. This right is guaranteed under Article 19 and 25 of the Constitution. The question is, why were the Hindus cheated? Are they the victims of an insidious prejudice? Why have the Samajwadi Party and Congress regimes at the state and central level respectively never revoked that 1993 order that disbarred specifically Hindus? Can Hindus trust these parties to uphold their rights? This last question is very significant, viewers, because as you know, the Congress and the Samajwadi Party are contesting the Lok Sabha elections together in Uttar Pradesh and are claiming that they are the only parties that represent all the people equally all the time. Viewers, this court order punches a hole, a massive hole in that claim. But I am not going to stand in judgment, viewers. Let's throw this out to our guests. Vishnu Shankar Jain, lawyer for the Hindu side, is with us. Dr. Ranganathan needs no introduction. Kamru Chaudhary backs the POW Act. Rashid Sharif, president of the SIMPLB. These are all known faces, and I want to first begin with Vishnu Shankar Jain. Now, Vishnu Shankar Jain, I know that today I should be congratulating you on the larger verdict that you have been able to get in your favor. But the tragedy is that I must commiserate with millions of Hindus who have been denied their basic rights since 1993. How am I supposed to, in this bittersweet moment, Vishnu Shankar Jain, celebrate what was an absolute palpable injustice?
See, absolutely right, Rahul. And as a civil lawyer, it was my duty that when I visited the spot, the disputed spot, I heard the versions of various atrocities which are committed on the site in question. And after that, the legal perspective which we developed was that if it is a glaring fact of this issue that worship is going on from 1551 till November 1993, then how it has to be restored? This was a question and a legal challenge which was before me and my senior Hari Shankar Jain. And that's how we developed this case. We collected all the evidence from the Vyas family, and then we drafted this case and filed it before the District Court of Varanasi. And we had a prayer. Very important, one more important fact is this, Rahul, I want to highlight it on your show, that from 2016 onward, some time came where the door of this Vyas family was demolished.
Oh.
There was a door of this Taikhana, and the keys of that door were with the Vyas family. One key was with the Vyas family, and the other key was with the district administration of Uttar Pradesh. I don't know how it has happened, but this door was broken. And let me tell you that Anjuman Intizamiya is in possession of this property in question. We immediately filed a petition on 25th of September 2023 saying that look here, the door has been demolished, and at any point of time they can take over the possession of this Taikhana which you are showing on your screen. It is on that footing the Honorable District Court of Varanasi on 17th of January appointed the District Magistrate as receiver in exercise of powers under Order 40 of the CPC. And the second prayer was that puja must be started in this premises because Kashi Vishwanath Trust has a legal obligation under section 13 of the UP Kashi Vishwanath Act 1983 to conduct puja. So these two orders were passed on 17 January and 31st January by the District Court of Varanasi, Rahul. And let me tell you, and let me quote, that in the Allahabad High Court, the Council for Anjuman Intizamiya used the word, and I am using the exact word, the District Court Varanasi passed the orders under the influence of the plaintiff. These were the assertions which were cast before the Honorable Allahabad High Court, and it has been dealt with in the judgment also by the Honorable Allahabad High Court. So if some court is passing an order, you can be agreed by that order, you can go to the higher court and challenge it. But during doing that duty, If you're casting aspersions of the court, it is contemptuous. We pointed it and highlighted it before the Honorable Court. And today, the Honorable Allahabad High Court has upheld the law, upheld the rule of law, and upheld the order passed by the District Court of Varanasi on 17th and 31st of January.
My word, what you're saying, Vishnu Shankar Jain, is startling. You've added more layers to what is palpable injustice. And Dr. Ranganathan, I have to ask you this. My faith in the secular credentials of the Samajwadi Party and the Congress is shaken today. It is shaken right down to the roots. What to make of this? This is an palpable injustice.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Being an atheist, my blood is boiling. I can only imagine what would be the state of mind for the believers like you and Vishnu and others. This is a crime that has happened. This is a crime that we as a state, as a country, have allowed to exist for 30 years. I want to ask, in a country where Supreme Court down to the government allow retrospective punishments, I want to ask, why not the court also allow a cost for this kind of heinous act to have happened and being perpetrated on the believers? Millions, perhaps a billion believers for 30 years. They were illegally not allowed to worship where they wanted to worship at the most sacrosanct of their places. Something would have to be done and questions are being asked. Har Har Mahadev. I have no hesitation in saying this. From 1551, Vyas Parivar was worshipping at that place. As I said previously, Rahul, you can subjugate 20 generations, but not the 21st. And let me also say this right now. This nation owes an insurmountable debt of gratitude to Vishnu Jain, who's right there. Vishnu, thank you. And someday, when we remember our heroes more than our tyrants, Vishnu, your name will be right there at the very top. Keeping this most sacred of places away from Indians, not just the Hindus. Because I've said it time and again, Rahul, this is a civilizational issue, not a religious one. It is untenable now. Among the hundreds of Hindu murals, reliefs, idols discovered by the ASI inside the Gyanvapi, by the way, there is also this sandstone tablet that reads, and I quote, by order, this mosque was built in 1676, the 20th regnal year of Aurangzeb, unquote. So much for the Muslim side claiming the mosque was built by Akbar. Rahul, I repeat, it is beyond any doubt. In fact, it is written in the most authentic biography of Aurangzeb, Masir-e-Alamgiri, that in 1669 on orders of Aurangzeb, the Kashi Vishwanath temple was demolished. The Farman is also archived in Bikaner archive. Jadunath Sarkar has also reiterated it. Let me give you a few facts now, just briefly. Number one, as Vishnu has also said and you've reiterated, Hindus have been worshipping Ma Shringar Gauring inside the so-called Gyanvapi Mosque almost every day before 1993 and once a year after 1993. So the religious character of the Gyanvapi structure has therefore always been Hindu. But there is more. A little distance away from Ma Gauri is the wuzu, where Muslims have been washing their dirty feet. In this wuzu was discovered the Shivling, courtesy Vishnu, that Muslims now claim is a fountain. And a little distance away further is the Vyas Parivar Tehkana that the Allahabad High Court has today adjudicated on. They were worshipping in that cellar till November 1993 when, ironically, in grave violation of Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act itself, Rahul, the Mulayam Singh government threw out the Vyas Parivar from their own cellar. So I want to ask a simple question. Did the religious character of the place not change then? For 31 years, you have violated the very Places of Worship Act that you were accusing the Hindus to violate. Number 4, further violations of Place of Worship Act were committed against Hindus. Ask Vishnu. The chopping of the sacred people tree, the removal of the Ganesh idol, the removal of the Hanuman idol. But it is the Hindus who have been taught that they are violating the Place of Worship Act by changing the religious structure of the mosque. Rahul, in summation, nations weaken not because of their past, as I say, but rather by how they are taught it. And for 70 years, we were taught to forget historical injustices from Somnath to Kashi Vishwanath, Babarpur to Bakhtiyarpur. And these injustices were deliberately made visible to lionize the debasement, celebrate the humiliation. I want to ask you finally, just 10 seconds. If the Muslims wanted, they could have removed all idols from Gyanvapi or the Jain and the Hindu relics from Quwwatul Islam Mosque, Qutub Minar, but they didn't because they wanted to humiliate Hindus, lionize the debasement. In the end, their hubris has led to their downfall.
Well, those are, of course, very, very strong charges that have been made. But Vishnu Shankar Jain, let me come back to you before I bring in a very learned and extremely well-researched Kamru Chaudhary back into this debate. I just want to first come to you, Mr. Jain, and this is very important, and it's a question that I must ask you. You see, given the fact that the Congress and the Samajwadi Party, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I'm only going by the fact that there has been such inaction over these last 30 odd years. One would think that they were both in it together to deny Hindu their rights. So I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but let me just ask you, given your dwindling faith, tomorrow, if by some dint of fate they were in power, do you have confidence that if a court does find in your favor, that these two parties, if they are in power, will uphold that judgment? Because unlike, let's not forget, unlike Ayodhya where the Babri Masjid was raised, here the mosque stands. Do you think these particular parties will execute an order passed by the Supreme Court if it were to come to it in a few years and say, okay, this is your land and now do what you want to do with it, rebuild your temple? Do you think they would? I'm asking you.
I extremely doubt, Rahul, because if you will see the policy which has been adopted by these governments, and I am from Lucknow, basically, so I've seen the functioning of Samajwadi Party government as well as the Congress government. The Places of Worship Act 1991 was enacted by Narasimha Rao government. Today we have travelled, I think, around 95 hearings from the trial court to the High Court to say that Places of Worship Act is not attracted. If these efforts wouldn't have been taken, the false narrative of Places of Worship Act would have brushed aside this case. The Waqf Act 1995, which is the most draconian law, which I have explained on your channel earlier, was enacted by the same Narasimha Rao government within the span of 4 years, by which, on the one hand, you ask the Hindu parties not to file even a case in the court of law, and on the other hand, you give exemplary powers to the Waqf board to declare any property as Waqf property by virtue of section 40 of the Waqf Act 1995. Apart from that, the National Commission of Minority Act 1992 was also enacted in this by this very government. What more I can say, Rahul? I have seen the Samajwadi Party government, the sitting minister, Azam Khan, refused to take oath of the constitution. He took oath only of secrecy. It's on record, I'm telling you. I have seen the Samajwadi Party government, the functioning of Samajwadi Party government. It has been only for minority appeasement. Entire party has worked for minority appeasement. If you remember, Rahul, in 2013, they were releasing Muslim youths. Innocent Muslim youths were the word which were used by them for releasing hardcore terrorists. It was only the Allahabad High Court, when we filed a petition saying that it is violation of section 321 of the CRPC, that order was struck down. So entire minority appeasement politics has been played by both the governments, and I'm very hopeful that if they were in power, these kind of litigations would not have they would have
fructified. Let me ask you, because this is important. You see, this is very important. The one thing that we've all forgotten is that the PV Narasimha Rao government wanted to pass a legislation, if you remember, Vishnu Jain, to take over the entire Babri Masjid site, in the name of maintaining, communal harmony. What tomorrow, if supposing this government were to come back, the Congress with the Samajwadi Party, and they pass, can they do that? Can they pass a law and say, no, the court might have ruled, but you see, this will lead to some sort of communal disturbance. We're just taking over this entire now land.
See, I think they can because if you'll see the entire functioning of the government by inserting the word secularism and socialism without any discussion in the constitution, which is also subject matter of challenge before the Supreme Court, without any discussion they have inserted these words, and in the garb of secularism and socialism they are trying to do anything against the majority community. If you will see the major endowment acts which are taxing the temples and the temple takeovers have been brought in these regimes, all these illegal actions against the constitutional ethos have been brought down by these governments. So I am very, very hopeful that this minority appeasement politics will be played by them if they come back to power.
Well, Dr. Ranganathan, of course, has written a whole book on this entire subject and it's been widely read. So, Kamru Chaudhary, I have to come to you. It's very important that today we don't lose ourselves. We don't lose ourselves in the usual rhetoric, etc., that we stick to the facts. And I have stuck to the facts. Nothing that I have quoted has not transpired, has not happened. I'll keep putting those graphics out. You can also refer to them, sir. This has been said this is exact replica of the clause in the verdict and of course the map also, which is now court document. So I want to ask you, how do I, and I'm now speaking as a viewer, Kamru Chaudhary, and a citizen, trust the Samajwadi Party and the Congress to protect the legal rights of the majority community after this? I don't think it can get any worse than this. I'm sure you'll agree. Plenty of time for your party that ruled at the center for 10 years between 2004 and 14 to have revoked this and given Hindus their basic right back, Article 25, Article 19, etc. But you didn't. So how do we trust?
Rahul, your debate tonight, is pure dog whistling on two counts. One is dog whistling against the political parties of Samajwadi and the Congress, and another way is pure dog whistling against the Muslims of this country. I'll explain to you.
Okay.
Just now, my learned friend Vishnu Som just now
how did the Muslims even come into this? I'm talking about a court order. Anyhow,
I'm coming.
Yeah.
He told that the Waqf Act is one of the most draconian acts of this century. Now, if it is a draconian act, he is a lawyer. He must be aware of the fact that the Waqf board has no powers to acquire any property until and unless it is donated by the person concerned in the name of Allah. That is the basic tenet of the Waqf Act. So once a Waqf, always a Waqf is another tenet of the Waqf Act, and it is a continuation of the 1935 Waqf Act and not really enacted in 1995. It has been changed to the circumstances we are presently in. Second point that I am coming here,
Rahul, please ask him. What does Section 6 say? Is he aware of what they are?
I am not a lawyer.
Then don't. You see, if you are not a lawyer, Kamru Chaudhary, then don't speak so authoritarian. Well, actually, as an authoritarian, not authoritative. As an authoritarian personality here. No, please quote now Article 6, Clause 6. Let's quote it. Vishnuji, let's pull it out. Because viewers, I'll tell you something. I can sit here every night and cop abuse from these people. That's not fair. Dog whistle, this dog. I'm quoting the court. The court says, and let me quote the court, Mr. Chaudhary, 1 minute. Just to make this very clear.
Out here, let me just clarify before that the viewers are misguided out here.
Okay.
What constitutes a Waqf? Let my learned lawyer say to
the please to the tell the definition of Waqf given under Section 3R of the Waqf Act 1995. Come on, tell me, sir. And what is the definition of Waqf under the Delhi Mountain Law? Sir, I have read it with lot of sense of authority. I am saying.
No, you are not saying. You are just dog whistling the Waqf Act out here.
Understand.
You are shooting
your narrative. Let me tell you, I don't want to debate with you, sir. Please.
No, 1 second. Kamru Chaudhary, why are we even talking about the Waqf Act? You've caught the slim edge of the wedge. Let us talk about the real issue. Why is it? And I'm quoting now the court, the High Court. I'm not quoting anyone else. I'm quoting the High Court, and you tell me if the High Court is dog whistling against the Samajwadi Party government. You tell me and I'll quote it. The worship and rituals which continued to be performed in the cellar by the Vyas family till 1993 was stopped by illegal action of state. Illegal action of the state without there being any order in writing. Now, the state at that time, sir, constituted whom? It was the Samajwadi Party in 1993.
Rahul, you must be well aware of the fact.
So how am I dog whistling against the Samajwadi Party?
Let me explain.
No, please. You are being in contempt of the court. The court has singled out the Samajwadi Party administration.
Rahul, if I say this, you will say you are contempt of the entire country. Because please listen, give me 10 seconds to hear this out. Growing perception that majoritarian views are giving priorities in matters of mandir and masjids, and how public opinions are manipulated by searching for temples beneath the ocean and beneath every mosque in the country. This is called dog whistling against the Muslims and the minority places of worship in the country.
Have you heard of a gentleman called Mohan Bhagwat? No. Have you heard of a gentleman called Mohan Bhagwat of the RSS?
What did he say?
He's the
RSS
Sarsang
says-
Chalak of the RSS.
No,
You know
no,
what he has
don't-
said?
I
Should I
don't
quote
want to go
him?
into that
No,
debate.
should I quote
know-
him? Viewers, now tell me
I
something.
know.
RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has said, now whether you agree with it or not is a different matter, viewers. He has come out and said that we should not go around looking for a temple under every mosque throughout the country. These are his views.
Then what wrong
And
is the
supposedly,
Mehrauli- No,
these are the views of a person that the Muslim side, that people like Kamru Chaudhary and his party, the Congress, call. And let me tell you this, viewers, call communalists. Reasonable view. I don't think you would agree, Dr. Ranganathan, with his view. You'd say, no, I want all my
Rahul-
temples back.
Rahul, I have a
Rahul,
very
this same
simple observation
person,
to
gentleman
make.
that is
Kamruji,
sitting out here, Anandji, just give me 20 seconds, Anandji, I request
I
you.
did not interrupt
This
you,
is the
Kamruji,
same
please.
person,
I
Anandji,
did
sitting
not
on your
interrupt
panel. He
you.
says
Kamruji,
that he
please.
supports
Kamruji.
the demand for freeing 40,000 temples.
Yeah, he's a
Now you
Hindu.
tell me-
You know, he's a
Yes,
supporter
I
of the
also- I
cause.
also have the same
No,
view.
that's what I'm
course.
saying. Now you are in contradiction of the what the RSS, your godfather.
But we
has
don't
said
all, I
and
mean,
what-
listen, I'm
what
sure
Anand-
do you
Anand
follow the
Ranganathan is
RSS,
saying.
Dr. Ranganathan? Are you an RSS bhakt? Since
No,
that
no,
is a
no.
fashionable word.
RSS,
Rahul,
the
Rahul,
point here,
on the
Rahul,
day-
is that Rahul,
Kamruji, this
tell
is
me
very
one
unfair
thing.
because you are a
What
good
wrong
friend.
did- what
I never
wrong did
interrupted you.
Mehrauli Mosque, a 700-year-old
I never
mosque,
interrupted
Okay,
you.
okay,
What
one
is
second, sir.
encroachment
Don't,
of the-
Mehrauli ka mosque,
Now
ka,
this
वहाँ
is-
temple भी तोड़े गए थे, sir. It was not
Really?
just a mosque. Even the temples
no.
were demolished
A
there.
700
Please, let's not be
archaeologically
selective
preserved
tonight.
site.
Let's be, okay,
When
one
you
second.
start
Kamru
with
Chaudhary,
cherry
we
picking,
can't speak
you
over
cannot
each other.
be
This is
cherry
not
picking.
fair. Dr. Ranganathan
1947
has been
we
asked to
got
come in.
independence. Now the present day Muslims have
Okay,
to
viewers, look at this.
think for the
Even
for
now,
the
it's
peace
not
for
too
500
late. Let
years
me
ago.
tell you, even now, it's not too late for someone to magnanimously step forward and say, take it back.
Never. Rahul, that will never happen. I want to give you an example. Allama Iqbal, the creator, the metaphorical and otherwise creator of Pakistan, was a first generation Muslim. His grandfather or second generation, his grandfather was a Hindu. I don't know what generation Muslim my dear friend Kamruji is. But not an inch will be given. Please remember this. Every inch of sacred Hindu land has to be taken back legally, step by step. And that is why I said people like Vishnu Jain are the people who are icons of this country. They are fighting for
Okay.
our justice, our civilizational justice. And I want to ask this question. You have rightly put the blame on Samajwadi Party government. Let us say a government in the current climate, state government, passed an illegal order. Do you think the Congress would have let BJP away or not blame Modi being at the center for allowing it? Why
Arey,
should
Dr.
we not, why
Ranganathan,
should we not allow Congress?
4 years
Why
back,
is
4 years back,
where there is
the parliament,
law
the 1
of
second,
law
just everyone silent please. 4 years ago, the parliament passed CAA and Article 370. My God, viewers, there were riots in this country. And Dr. Ranganathan is only talking about criticism. There were riots. And you talk about dog whistling. The daddies of dog whistling are today in court in Tihar. Viewers, not getting bail and running away from even taking bail. I mean, we are talking about dog whistling. I mean, you have some audacity. Anyhow, let me bring in SIMPLB, Rashid Sharif. Sharif भाई, आपसे एक सिंपल सवाल है. आज तो कोर्ट ने ये बताया कि 1993 में illegally, the Hindus were deprived of their right to pray. Now tell me, sir, इससे बड़ा और क्या हो सकता है बेनकाब? अब आप मुझे बताइए, क्या अब समय आ गया है कि हम ये जो ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद हैं जैन साहब के हवाले कर दें? अब तो
जी हाँ राहुल जी, आप जो बात बता रहे हैं उससे पूरा देश परेशान है. आज मुसलमान परेशान हैं. कोर्ट जो है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट है सो हाई कोर्ट की तरफ भेज देता है. हाई कोर्ट है तो स्टे नहीं लगाता है. ये 350 साल पहले की मस्जिद है. आप 1993 की बात कर रहे हैं, 1993 की बात कर रहे हैं. ये मसला कब का है? ये मस्जिद बनी कब है? आज है सो स्कूल्स, बच्चों के स्कूल्स चल रहे हैं, एग्जाम्स चल रहे हैं. आज हम उनके सामने ये रख रहे हैं कि हिंदू मुसलमान, ये रख रहे हैं कि मंदिर मस्जिद रख रहे हैं. ये मस्जिद मंदिर का खेल कब तक खेलते रहेंगे सर? कब तक खेलते? अरे बच्चों का फ्यूचर के बारे में बात करिए राहुल जी. बच्चों के एग्जाम्स है अभी. अगर है सो आपको हाई कोर्ट अगर परमिशन देता है, सेलर में पूजा करो.
तो अब हमारे को ये बताना पड़ेगा हाई कोर्ट को कि जरा एग्जाम शेड्यूल देके जब अपना वर्डिक्ट दीजिए. क्या what is this? What kind of debate are we having? I think I just need to put an end to this debate. It's not going anywhere, viewers. You're hearing people speaking today out against the courts, accusing the courts of dog whistling. I mean, where are we going to go in this country from here, viewers? If what the court is saying is not going to be respected, if what the court is going to be, has ruled, is going to be now, motives are going, I think Vishnu Shankar Jain talked about this and he has sent me that little area where the court has said that motives were imputed. Can you believe, Vishnu Shankar Jain? The court has had to step in because the likes of Mr. Chaudhary and some of his friends in the Congress party came out, and even today they have, viewers, by the way. The Intizamiya has said some very nasty things about the court. Suggested that, the plaintiffs have influenced the judges. Can you believe it, viewers? It's shocking. And now we are being told कि भैया exam की बात करिए. I can't understand this, viewers. I just cannot understand it. Anyhow, let's move on. Let's move on because we have other issues. We have other issues. अच्छा ठीक है रशीद भाई, आप बहुत प्रिपेयर करके आए हैं, मगर कोई गलत डिबेट के लिए प्रिपेयर करके आए हैं. आप और पढ़ाई कीजिए और दूसरी डिबेट में आप शामिल हुइए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. मगर ये वाली डिबेट में आपका बनता नहीं है, क्योंकि बेसिकली यू हैव कम एंड यू आर स्पीकिंग ऑन समथिंग कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. I commend you for your preparation. Unfortunately, आपने डेट गलत देख लिया, टाइम गलत देख लिया, कहीं गलत चैनल पे, गलत जगह पे, गलत चीज पे बात कर रहे हैं. This is not the subject of the debate. We'll talk about all those issues with you when Mr. Sisodia is released from jail, so we can talk about the education model of Delhi. And we will have him and you can speak to him about it. Now let me move on, viewers, because this is very important. The Assam Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, on Monday during the last budget session of the Legislative Assembly said he will never allow the business of child marriage to take place in the state of Assam till he is alive. Now, viewers, on the face of it, this is something that should be commended. Child marriage is not something that anyone should be encouraging, especially after studies have been conducted that prove that the reproductive health of women suffers when they're hawked off to be married, viewers, underage, most often against their wishes. Himanta Biswa Sarma's comments came as the Congress, however, and the All India United Democratic Front walked out of the assembly protesting the cabinet decision. Yes, viewers, to repeal the Assam Muslim Marriages and Divorce Registration Act of 1935. This is what he said. Himanta Biswa Sarma, he said, hear me carefully, as long as I am alive, I will not let child marriage take place in Assam. I will not let this happen as long as Himanta Biswa Sarma is alive. I would like to challenge you politically. I will shut down this shop before 2026. We will not rest in peace until we completely close the shop that you people, he was implying the Congress, have opened to ruin the daughters of the Muslim community. Now, ever since the Assam government decided on repealing the act, the opposition has been up in arms, viewers. AIUDF MLA said it's an election target to target Muslims, if you please. It's Islamophobia. No right to repeal a constitutional right. Assam government does not have courage to bring UCC. Asaduddin Owaisi says failure of government as child marriage was banned in 2006. Who will take care of the women after government crackdown? Let's open this up. Let's bring in a resident of Assam, Kamru Chaudhary, and Anant Ranganathan. Kamru Chaudhary, why is the Congress today not supporting a progressive legislation which guarantees women agency over their bodies, over their future?
Absolutely right. If Himanta Biswa Sarma was absolutely right in his intentions, I would be the first person in this world to support him. But here it was not so easy that you are seeing it through. The basic point out here, between the age of 20 to 24, Assam has recorded 32% child marriages among the female population between 20 to 24. Now my question to you, Anand, are these 32% of the girls only Muslims? I doubt no, because a majority of them have been Hindus. The point here that I am going to say is that child marriage is a problem all across the country. Now, Muslims have been guaranteed by this constitution, and it is a custom and practice of the 1500 years old that a nikah or a contract has to be undertaken at the time of marriage with two witnesses in tandem. That is the Muslim way of marriage, and that has been guaranteed by the constitution. By removing this nikah or the contract marriage or the use of qazis to register a marriage, you have totally nullified the system, the practice of the Muslims' marriages. This is not in the line of the constitution, which guarantees freedom of religion to each and every religion in the country. By doing so, what have you done is you are giving way to certain unregistered marriages that will be taking place all across the cities and villages of Assam. Not only this, let me just cite you some examples. 2 days ago, under the Basundhara scheme of Assam government, all people indigenous, it seems, that is Khilonjia in Assam they are called, have been given land pattas, but only the Muslims have been denied for this. Earlier, Himanta Biswa Sarma abolished the Madrasa Act, abolished the 130-year-old Madrasa board out there. They brought in such legislations wherein only the Muslims have been singled out. So here the intention of the Himanta Biswa Sarma is totally in doubt. When 2006 law prohibits child marriages, if the Qazi, who is supposed to be a government appointee, administers any child marriage under his purview, then it is liable to be a criminal offense. So why single out the Muslims and their customs and try to vilify them in the name of child marriage?
Okay, should I get the other side in? Dr. Ranganathan, respond please.
No, my dear friend Kamruji is absolutely wrong. There are ample High Court judgment. The recent one I can think of is the Gujarat High Court judgment that actually allowed a Muslim girl who just achieved puberty to be married. So in clear violation of the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, and till this draconian provision that is allowed in Islam is not allowed in India anymore, such instances will keep on occurring. So Kamruji is absolutely wrong. But I want to ask on another issue. Rahul, for how long, on the pretext of diversity, one will allow discrimination to flourish? Because that is exactly what has been happening. Because above everything, there is a pursuit of law or a code that begets what I call universal good. That is just, equal and based on science. Let me explain, because only then can societies progress. We have seen this time and again. The abortion limit has been decided by science and it has changed over the years, has it not? Was that not warranted? Infant vaccination, contraception, prohibited in many societies and looked down upon. Was that not warranted? Similarly, science tells us that marriage of a woman upon puberty, sanctioned in Islam, demanded by AIMPLB and ratified by Indian courts, till now allowed in Assam, causes irreversible physical and mental damage to the woman's body. Should we continue to cause damage in the name of diversity? You want to continue to marry girl childs because your community has been doing so, while every other community in India has to follow the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act. Is this pro-woman? Just another example, and this will expose the hypocrisy of Kamruji. Supreme Court recently conferred Hindu daughters with equal rights to father's property going back to 1949, saying, and I quote, Hindu texts recognize female rights, unquote. But in India, Rahul, because of the verse 411, a Muslim daughter is entitled to only half of what a son is. Does this not bother our activists and those fighting for women's rights? Is this not discrimination? For how long will you make Muslim women suffer discrimination by shrouding them in this burqa of diversity? So I ask Kamruji, is he or is he not against the verse 411 that allows a Muslim daughter to inherit less than the son? Say yes or no, if you have the guts.
You know, Rahul, a little knowledge is a very dangerous thing. And
yes
my learned friend, is coming here and blabbering what he has learned from the Google. That's plain and simple. Because for please have the guts to listen also, Anand bhai. Anand bhai, 411, 511, 1211. Listen to me. First,
open challenge
for the last
411.
For the last,
I will change my name.
Again. For
if
the
I'm
last,
wrong, I'll change my name. You quote 411, Kamruji. And if you are wrong, you change your name. It's an open challenge.
Let me speak now, Rahul. You have to mediate.
You can't just speak.
Okay, let him speak.
Okay.
For the last 1500 years, Anant, Rahul, this is not a revelation, it is there on the records. A female child born in a Muslim family had equal rights as in her parental home as well as in her married home out here. That right has been guaranteed by the Quran Sharif out here and the Hadith Sharif out here. There is no denying the fact that the woman in her parental home gets 50% of her brother's property, but she gets an equal share in her husband's property also.
There we go.
In the this thing. When did the Hindu woman get? When did the Hindu woman get equal rights in this country?
What about
Can Anandji reply? Because I am not here differentiating between Muslim customs and the Hindu customs.
Regarding your
this is
children,
not my this
the
thing.
share
But
of the
Anandji
male
will try to
will be
vilify.
twice that of the female.
Anandji will try to vilify
Now he
their
is going
Muslims
to-
and his
he is
customs.
going
Okay,
to
let me
But
just
the
say one
fact
thing.
remains-
Viewers, look what happened last year. Saudi Arabia, of all the countries, which is a model republic, Islamic republic, for a lot of Muslims, decided that it was going to ban child marriages. And it has. It's only permitted in an exceptional circumstance to be decided by a court. That's it. Now, by that yardstick, viewers, the Saudi Arabian government should be the most Islamophobic. So I don't understand what is going on. If in India someone moves to do this, they are Islamophobic. Saudi Arabia does it, no problem.
Rahul, can I get another
Rahul,
30
can
seconds,
I-
please?
I've actually
Can I
run
get
out of
30
time, but I think you
Just
did
very
concede.
important, very
Okay,
important.
yes, sir.
30.
No, go
yes.
ahead, sir. You take 30. I've
Yes, sir.
run out of time actually. I need to take a break
Okay,
today
okay,
because
okay.
the
Now
commercial
the-
break today is quite long. So I have to take that commercial break, sir. Otherwise, all of us will be out of pocket. I won't even be able to match your fees. So let me just take a short break, and I'll come right back to you guys. Viewers, certain issues today being discussed. We must add context, and that's what we try to do. Put a lot of fact with context. I'm taking a short break.
अब से 50 साल
weirdly. So I told my mom we want to rescue it. So that was the first elephant, and we had no idea how to take care of the elephant. So we got the elephant, we kept it, and then we said we'll build slowly, boon boon se sagar banta hai.
Right.
So we slowly, and today we have. That time we did not even know what to feed the elephant. We would do what the Mahabhat says.
Correct.
We had no scientific knowledge. We built a scientific knowledge over a period of, I think, a decade and more. And today we have a highly professional team, more than 300, 400 professionals taking care of the elephants.
How big is this entire facility, if I may ask you?
So all our animal facilities put together spreads over more than 2,500 acres.
2,500 acres.
Yes.
That's a lot of space. And this is in Jamnagar. So Jamnagar is also where your refinery is, the core of your businesses is.
I would say this is my father's and my grandfather's dream. They've worked very hard. We have the world's largest refinery. We're getting the world's largest new energy plant here. And they've built everything from scratch. My mother built the township where all our employees live. She's created a city, and it was a barren desert. And thanks to my parents, this exists. And even I have seen Jamnagar since 1997. The villages around have prospered so much. It's something amazing to see it.
Now, in the heart of all of this enterprise, where Reliance core and perhaps its ancillary and affiliates overall influence more than 1.5 crore lives, correct me if my numbers is wrong, amidst all of that, you thought of saying, okay, let's go and help those who can't talk for themselves.
So Anand, I basically, when I was a young child, I told you, my mother always would tell me to take care of the animals.
So in your childhood also you would do this?
I would do it in my childhood. And my father is one of the biggest wildlife buffs. For example, when we were young, I think till the age of 18, I've not gone to any other family holiday except Africa, Ranthambore, and the jungles of Kahana, the jungles of Bandhavgarh, Kaziranga. My father would only take us to jungle holidays. So I think they inspired me to do this. And to be honest, I thought of, so domestic animals, there are many people who are doing a lot of good work across the country.
Correct.
But for wildlife, there are very few people. And, wildlife is getting endangered. Here, we have more than 50, 60 endangered species.
50, 60 endangered species.
We have rescued from various backgrounds like circuses, from road accidents, from animal-human conflict, from zoos which are overcrowded. We have rescued animals from all across, from hunting lodges in South Africa and from other places. So while we were rescuing them, I thought that we need a state-of-the-art hospital. We need a state-of-the-art facility. I don't want to keep them in cages. I want to keep them in their natural habitat. So we worked very hard. You saw today, I showed you. We have mimicked the natural habitat to the T, as to the best of my ability. And my team is more important than me. There's a trust, and the trust runs it. So the team has created a wildlife sanctuary, and each enclosure has its own biodiversity. From the plants to the water body to even the rocks and the logs are from originally where the animals came from. Our focus is that India should not have any wild animal suffering in captivity, or any wild animal should not go without being treated.
That's a very, very big thought, because we are very rich in flora and fauna. So does that also open you up to scrutiny? Are people asking, what is this person doing in Jamnagar? Is he really creating a rescue and a rehabilitation center?
Of course, see, there are a lot of, when you do something, there'll be a lot of people who will praise you and a lot of people who will not praise you. But at the end of the day, in my heart, I know I'm true, and I'm doing it for animals. And as long as I know what I'm doing, I don't worry about what others have to say.
I believe there were some people who came and checked also.
We have had many.
And they went back convinced and
we have had many
converted.
We have the organization, the trusts have been going to court many times, and we have always argued well. And we are legally compliant. We comply with every statutory compliance, and every compliance is
line that's been ticked. So there's nothing. Everything is above board. And
getting an animal is not easy. You have to MOEF has certain guidelines. The state government has guidelines. The CITES. We are extremely regulated in terms of we follow every law to the T.
So you will stand the test of legal scrutiny in terms of this endeavor, because it's important, because what you're doing is very significant.
Yes.
So let me ask you, you're also very dharmic. So is there a Sanatan connect to it all?
Of course. So as you know that in our Sanatan, you will every deity has an animal which is close to her or his heart.
True.
Every deity
has a Vahana.
Is an animal.
Yeah.
So, and in our Rig Veda, Krishna said, Krishna also says that all life is equal.
Yeah.
May it be a human, or may it be a bee, or may it be an ant, everything is equal.
Yeah, Mamaiva he says.
Yes.
Jiva
so here we take care from frogs to mice to everything. So I have a whole, today you've seen as a wildlife rescue center.
But what does it do for you? Why do you do it? I'm
for me, I'm
asking as a layman. Everybody has money. Some people have little, some people have lots of money. Everybody does different things with them. You need to have a cause, something that drives you.
So my cause to do this was that human welfare, there are a lot of people working, but animal welfare, there are few people working. I think I was the chosen one, and I was fortunate enough that God's blessings that I could do seva of animals. For me, in today's life, you can't see God, but I see God within every animal. They say that in our dharma, they say that in a cow there are 64 crore devtas. But for me, not only in a cow, but I see in every animal a devta. So it's my giving back to society.
Good afternoon. You're watching the Breaking News Show on CNN News 18, and we're beginning the show with breaking news coming in regarding the launching of a dream project. Anant Ambani's dream project Vantara is going to be unveiled today. It is the biggest rescue center for over 60 species of wildlife in Jamnagar. Now, this is the biggest rescue facility. It's called the Green Zoological Rescue and Rehabilitation Kingdom at Jamnagar, Gujarat. It's by, as we told you earlier, Reliance Industries Limited. It's a pet project of Mukesh Ambani's youngest son, Anant Ambani. It's built on about 260 acres of land close to the company's refinery project in Jamnagar, the world's largest oil refinery complex. This is obviously where it operates a petrochemical project as well. We're going to take you now to an interview by my colleague Anant with Ambani about this initiative. Take a look.
I'm standing in the middle of a state-of-the-art operation theatre, ladies and gentlemen, with the works in terms of medical equipment. This is even powered by robotics. But the important point is that it's not just for human beings. It's not for human beings. It's for lives that we oftentimes don't value, but perhaps they are most important in our food chain. It's for the wild animals. And it's perhaps a one-of-a-kind rescue and rehabilitation center that I find myself in. And I'm so proud to be able to speak with a person who's at the heart of it all and who's championed it right from ground up, Mr. Anant.
Anant Ambani's dream project Vantara has been unveiled and is the biggest rescue center for over 60 species of wildlife in Jamnagar. CNN News 18's Anand Narsimhan spoke exclusively with Anant Ambani on his passion project. Listen in.
So what's your vision with this? Where are we going with this? Are you creating something that is going to be perennial?
Luckily I'm getting married now.
Yes, you are. Congratulations.
And I think I'm going to have one more person. Radhika is also extremely passionate about this. So I think both of us combined, and with my parents' blessings and my siblings, Akash and Isha's blessings, I think what you've seen now is only 8 to 10% of my vision.
Oh, lovely.
My vision is that at Vantara in Jamnagar, we would like to be the world's most advanced wildlife institute. And we would also like to conserve and breed critically endangered species so we can release them back in their habitat. Because a lot of species, even today as we speak, species are going extinct.
Correct.
And what you saw today is, so in Hindi there's a saying Chidiyaghar. It's not a chidiya, Sevalya hai. So we have created it as a Sevalya. And it's an area where we only rehabilitate, rescue, preserve, conserve and breed the endangered species.
Anandji,
Thank you,
namaste.
Anand. How are you? Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very, very much. Let me first ask you, where are we? And can you take our viewers through this? And then we'll get into the genesis of where we are in Vantara.
Currently you are in our large animal operation theatre. This is our hospital. It's spread over 1.5 lakh square feet. You can see we have a gas anesthesia machine. We have state-of-the-art operation table, operation lights. We have a entire robotic endoscopic machine which we can also do robotic surgery with. We have ventilators. We have everything which is state-of-the-art. I personally have not seen such a well-equipped ICU. So I've visited more than, before I could build this, I visited more than 30 or 40 facilities all across the world, and I took inspiration from every one of them. And those were my inspiration to build this.
True. Now, this is a smaller animal facility. These are primates and the felines, and those are the ones which are here. There's a huge elephant hospital that you've also built. That is the Radhikrishna Elephant Welfare Trust. And that was phenomenal to see. More than 100 elephants that we saw there.
We have rescued actually more than 200 elephants from all across India.
Now, that's not easy. Now, tell me, how did that happen? What's the genesis of this?
So, my mother has always been a great inspiration to me. My mother, when I was a young boy and we were going, I was I think 12 years old, we were traveling from Jaipur to Ranthambore. In the middle, on the road, we saw a young elephant with a mavat going on the road in the peak heat. And the elephant was walking a little weirdly. So I told my mom we want to rescue it. So that was the first elephant, and we had no idea how to take care of the elephant. So we got the elephant, we kept it, and then we said we'll build slowly, boon boon se sagar banta hai.
Right.
So we slowly, and today we have, that time we did not even know what to feed the elephant. We would do what the Mahavat says.
Correct.
We had no scientific knowledge. We built a scientific knowledge over a period of, I think, a decade and more. And today we have a highly professional team, more than 300, 400 professionals taking care of the elephants.
How big is this entire facility, if I may ask you?
So all our animal facilities put together spreads over more than 2,500 acres.
2,500 acres. That's a lot of space. and this is in Jamnagar. So Jamnagar is also where your refinery is,
the
the core
world's-
of your businesses
So
is.
I would say this is my father's and my grandfather's dream. They've worked very hard. We have the world's largest refinery. We're getting the world's largest new energy plant here. And they've built everything from scratch. My mother built the township where all our employees live. She's created a city, and it was a barren desert. And thanks to my parents, this exists. And even I have seen Jamnagar since 1997. The villages around have prospered so much. It's something amazing to see
True.
it.
Now, in the heart of all of this enterprise, where Reliance core and perhaps its ancillary and affiliates overall influence more than 1.5 crore lives, correct me if my numbers is wrong, amidst all of that, you thought of saying, okay, let's go and help those who can't talk for themselves.
So Anand, I basically, when I was a young child, I told you, my mother always would tell me to take care of the animals.
So in your childhood also you would do this?
I would do it in my childhood. And my father is one of the biggest wildlife buffs. For example, when we were young, I think till the age of 18, I've not gone to any other family holiday except Africa, Ranthambore, and the jungles of Kahana, the jungles of Bandhavgarh, Kaziranga. My father would only take us to jungle holidays. So I think they inspired me to do this. And to be honest, I thought of, so domestic animals are many people who are doing a lot of good work across the country.
Correct.
But for wildlife, there are very few people. And you know, wildlife is getting endangered. Here, we have more than 50, 60 endangered species.
50, 60 endangered species.
We have rescued from various backgrounds like circuses, from road accidents, from animal-human conflict, from zoos which are overcrowded. We have rescued animals from all across, from hunting lodges in South Africa and from other places. So while we were rescuing them, I thought that we need a state-of-the-art hospital. We need a state-of-the-art facility. I don't want to keep them in cages. I want to keep them in their natural habitat. So we worked very hard. You saw today, I showed you. We have mimicked the natural habitat to the T, as to the best of my ability. And my team is more important than me. There's a trust, and the trust runs it. So the team has created a wildlife sanctuary, and each enclosure has its own biodiversity. From the plants to the water body to even the rocks and the logs are from originally where the animals came from. Our focus is that India should not have any wild animal suffering in captivity, or any wild animal should not go without being treated.
That's a very, very big thought, because we are very rich in flora and fauna. So does that also open you up to scrutiny? Are people asking, what is this person doing in Jamnagar? Is he really creating a rescue and a rehabilitation center?
Of course, see, there are a lot of, when you do something, there'll be a lot of people who will praise you and a lot of people who will not praise you. But at the end of the day, in my heart, I know I'm true, and I'm doing it for animals. And as long as I know what I'm doing, I don't worry about what others have to say.
I believe there were some people who came and checked also.
We have had many.
And they went back convinced and
we have had many
converted.
We have the organization, the trusts have been going to court many times, and we have always argued well. And we are legally compliant. We comply with every statutory compliance, and every compliance is
line that's been ticked. So there's nothing.
So
everything is above board. And
getting an animal is not easy. You have to MOEF has certain guidelines. The state government has guidelines. The CITES. We are extremely regulated in terms of we follow every law to the T.
So you will stand the test of legal scrutiny in terms of this endeavor, because it's important, because what you're doing is very significant.
Yes.
So let me ask you, you're also very dharmic. So is there a Sanatan connect to it all?
Of course. So as you know that in our Sanatan, you will every deity has an animal which is close to her or his heart.
True.
Every deity
has a Vahana.
Is an animal.
Yeah.
So, and in our Rig Veda, Krishna said, Krishna also says that all life is equal.
Yeah.
May it be a human, or may it be a bee, or may it be an ant, everything is equal.
Yeah, Mamaivaamsho, he says.
Yes.
So
here we take care from frogs to mice to everything. So I have a whole, today you've seen as a wildlife rescue center.
But what does it do for you? Why do you do it?
for me, I
I'm
do it-
asking as a layman. Everybody has money. Some people have little, some people have lots of money. Everybody does different things with them. You need to have a cause, something that drives
So
you.
my cause to do this was that human welfare, there are a lot of people working, but animal welfare, there are few people working. I think I was the chosen one, and I was fortunate enough.
Good evening. You're watching The Right Stand with me, Poonam Burde. The Kashi Vishwanath Gyanvapi legal tussle has been going on for decades.